Hello, YouTube, and welcome to the Quest for Awesome. This is the first episode of my first public mod pack. I've been working on it over the last couple of weeks, and I finally got permission from all of the mod authors in order to put this available online. It is available through the Technic launcher. I'm going to put a link to that right in the description below. And it is live. This thing is finally live. This is not my first mod pack per se. I made a couple in the past. Most notably, I made one for Pixelmon that turned out fairly well. I was having a little trouble with some of the mods within it, but this one will be awesome because it is called the Quest for Awesome. Now, a few words of warning first and foremost, for those of you who haven't heard about this mod pack before, it is a 1.72 Forge mod pack, so it is relatively unstable. Forge 1.72 came out a few months back. It's only just now becoming more stable. A lot of mod authors are putting their mods into 1.72. However, a lot of them are very, very early. In fact, you see I have here 52 mods installed. More than half of those are going to be in alpha or beta stages. So this is going to be what I'm calling a high reset mod pack. I'm estimating something like maybe 30 days I may reset it for the sake of world gen or adding some new mods to it. And yes, I do plan on adding more mods. And there's 52 mods. For comparison, I believe Attack of the B Team was 113 mods. I think Hexit was like 68 or so. And I think Feed the Beast Monster is something like 160, something ridiculously high like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. But okay, so first and foremost, this is an adventure mod pack. That means it contains a lot of world gen, including dungeons and multiple worlds. It's got a little bit of technology into it and a teeny bit of magic. I'm planning on adding more magic in as it goes, but for now, this is what I got. This is what I'm going to go with. I've also added quite a bit of weaponry. I'm very happy that I'm adding in here. As a matter of fact, that was kind of my priorities. I want to have some awesome weapons to use. So without further ado, for the moment, we're going to go into making our world. So single player, create new world, and I'm going to call it Let's Play. I'm going to call it V1.0.1 because that's the version I'm using of the mod pack. If I have to make a new world, I want to know what version I used in order to create the world. So options, generator structures on, world type is going to be default. I could do amplify, but I'm kind of afraid to because I'm not sure my computer can handle it really. Loud cheats on because stuff happens. Bonus chest on because I want to get there a little quicker. Random seed. So I'll post seed just a second as soon as it loads. Let's create world. So for those of you who've been following my channel for a while now, since I started last year, I want to apologize again for my Attack of the B Team series ending as abruptly as it did. I am so sorry. It was not my intention. I accidentally deleted my game file, and I really didn't want to spend the hours upon hours it would take me to try and recreate everything that I missed. So again, I'm sorry. But look, on the bright side, I gave you a mod pack, and it's here, and it's going to be awesome because it is all about awesome. That is trying to find as much awesome stuff as you can wherever you can find it, whether it being guns or dungeons or mobs or all the above. So let's see what we got here. That was still loading in. Oh, so you can see my hotbar as it loads up. That is the book from Tinker's Construct. Yep, we've got Tinker's Construct in here. So as soon as this loads up, I'll give you a rundown on all the mods that are in this. That's also going to be in the description for this episode. Still loading up. There we go. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life, and I'm feeling good. Da-da, da-da, da-da-da-da. Okay, so I'm going to be doing a lot of, ooh, look at that, that's so cool, and this is all really cool. This is not my first world. I'm working on this mod pack for several weeks now. So I've seen, I've made at least like 9 different versions of this mod pack, just internal build versions. I've tried many different worlds to try and get the balance pretty well. This one has a pretty good setup in terms of and not lagging too much, and it's got a lot of interesting things. So what's the first thing you notice around here? Well, this first of all, you can see what this is. I have Wyla, that's right. But I'm not. I want to go through this in order so I can make sense of. Also down here, if you notice, these are flowers from Botania. Definitely want to get into these when I get a chance. I think this mod is still a work in progress, but it can do some pretty cool things. So once I get into that, we're going to figure those out. So let's just grab our bonus chest here. Got to see what's in it. Oh, ho, nice. Okay, so I take a thing. Let's see what we got here. We actually got two brooms. I know these are not witchery rooms. Witchery is not available for 1.7. However, Evil Craft is. These are Evil Craft brooms. Check this out. It flies pretty much the same as a witchery broom. It's actually a little bit easier to handle, but you can't make it currently. You can only find it. But this thing is awesome. I'm so glad we found this thing right off the bat. Very, very handy. So my plan for this mod pack, this let's play is, as I said before, it's gonna be a high reset, but I still don't want to do it as if it wasn't. So I need to make a base. I need to at least have some way to figure out where things go, and from there I'm gonna do some pretty cool things. But for the moment, it's gonna be, I wouldn't call it vanilla, but I'm gonna call it vanilla-esque play, just normal Modcraft stuff. I happen to be going through now Industrial Craft 2 trees because we have Industrial Craft 2 experimental in this mod pack. This is a truncated version of Industrial Craft 2. It is not completely stable by any means, so I have to worry about that as time comes. But it does have most functionality. So that's going to be helpful. I'm just going to take this rubber. Not really useful right now, but I definitely want to get a couple of these saplings so that when we do come to be making IC2 power, we'll be able to make some rubber trees. Nice. So right here, I'm going to make a waypoint. I'm using Zon's minimap here, so that means I have, if I can get the controls right, there we go. So waypoint, I'm just going to put spawn. I played around with this idea for a little while. And I think the best way with this mod pack is to make a spawn mine. That is somewhere I can just go down, get some resources first, and then move on to the first dungeon. I've done this a few times in which I just ran to the nearest dungeon and started cleaning it out. What happened each time is that I didn't have enough resources, most notably redstone or gold, in order to do what I wanted to do. Ooh, squid. Check us out. There you are. I'm gonna eat you. Get in my belly. Oh, you don't think I can eat squid? Ha! I can eat raw squid. I can use regular squid too, but that is nice. Okay, more squid. So like I said, this mod pack has 52 mods approximately. It's got like a lot of child mods involved in that, not a full number. But there are something like 40 more mods I would love to add to this mod pack, but for one reason or another, I don't have them at the moment. So it could be that they aren't compatible. It could be they aren't ported for 1.7, which is more likely what the case is. And a couple of mods I really wanted to include, I was actually trouble with permissions, or whether it's what the mod makers demand, or whether it's some kind of interaction issue, which results in a conflict, various reasons. So there's stuff I would love to add, but at the moment I feel this is a strong enough build that I can have it be released as 1.0.1. So what is in the Quest for Awesome mod pack? Well, in order, we have Applied Energistics 2. We have Archimedes ships, so we'll be able to make an ME system to store our equipment, and Archimedes ships is going to help us to make some cool ship-like vehicles, and I've got a couple in mind that I think you're going to like. We have Armor Smelter, which is a very useful little mod. It's simply put, it allows you to smelt down certain kinds of armor you find, most notably iron or leather, and back into the ingots that they came from. Very handy if you happen to do a lot of looting, get a lot of armor, and like, I don't really need this armor, but I need the item, the mineral, the metals and ores behind it. We have backpacks, and this is the backpacks by Brad, as opposed to the ones from Idaimo, which is from the Phoebus Horizon series, and the main difference is that these backpacks are actually upgradable. So we'll get to that once we get a supply of leather and string. And very prominently in this, if you noticed in the intro graphics that I made, that we have Balkon's weapon mod. This is made by BalkondeurAlpha. This is, I mean, I shouldn't play favorites. I really shouldn't, but this is one of my favorite mods in Minecraft. I mean, I love minimap, especially Zon's minimap and Ray's minimap. All their minimaps, if I had to pick one mod to play in Minecraft, it would be one of the minimap mods, definitely. And if I had to pick one beyond that, it might be Wila or Craft Guide or NEI or something similar like that, so I can keep track of items. But if it was past that, it would be Balkon's weapon mod, because it adds flintlock weapons, and I'm really happy about these because they seem like they actually make sense. I mean, you can make crossbows, you can make blowguns, even you can make halberds, battle axes, and you can make muskets and blunderbusses. Now these, to me, these feel like weapons that Steve would actually have made. I mean, like, you know, you give him enough time, you can kill enough creepers, you get some gunpowder, you get some iron, you get some wood, you're going to want to make a musket out of that. It's not the most complicated thing in the world, and I think it's something that he would have made. So we also have Bibliocraft. Now this is going to be primarily a decorative mod, so I can make it look a little nicer around here. But I also add stuff like armor stands, which might be kind of useful. So I'm glad to add that. We have blood magic. That's going to be really fun once we get up to making energy blasters and bazookas for weaponry. We have Botania, as you see over here. I really want to learn more. That's probably one of the mods I know the least about of all the ones that I have in this mod pack. I know a fair amount about most of them, but not everything about all of them. Okay, well, we've got we've got a version of Buildcraft in here, and it's going to be pretty useful. Most of it will be as the quarries. We're going to get those running. We also have Cave World, and this is by a mod author named Kigare. And I'm sorry if I get that wrong. Please, I apologize. But in this mod pack, we have Cave World, and this is a mod pack that's actually made by a Japanese mod maker. So I got off the Japanese Minecraft forum. So I hope that I had permission to use it. I didn't see anything that looked like when it was translated, like you have to PM me in order to get permission for this. So all I did was give it a link to the original Minecraft post in the description for this mod on the Technic platform. So if you want to check out Kigare's Minecraft post, if I'm using this wrong name, I apologize. But if you want to check out his post or her post on the Minecraft forum, it's in Japanese. So if you can translate or if you can read, more power to you. But that's where I got it from. And if someone gets back to him that I did this without his permission, I apologize. Sumimasen. And I will do what I can to make it right. But for the moment, I have Cave World in this mod pack, and I'm interested to see what that will look like. It basically adds like all underground, like there's no above ground. As in, you start underground, you try and dig up, and there's bedrock above you. So I like that concept. I want to see what we can do with it. Okay, we also have a mod called Chicken Shed. This is a very simple mod. Basically, what it does is it makes chickens shed their feathers, and also gives them a higher rate to drop feathers when you kill them. Oh, it's getting dark here. Okay, so we better start thinking about digging in. So I got spawn here, so I might as well dig in at this point. Gonna make ye old crafting table, but what? We have Tinker's Construct, so I'm making a crafting station. Be a little more useful. Make a little bit of sticks, and let's dig in. So next up, we have Crystal Wing. Now, this is a very cool little mod. Essentially, what it does is it adds a couple of items into the game. Most notably, the Crystal Wing and the various versions of that. Now, what the Crystal Wing does is it essentially acts like a Hearthstone in World of Warcraft, meaning it allows you to teleport yourself back to either your spawn point or your bed. And it works primarily in the overworld. I think it also works in the nether. However, if you use it in the nether, it has a very good chance to be set on fire when you get back, so it becomes a single-use item instead of a repeat-use item. Okay, that should do it. So if I get guys coming in here, they'll be trapped unless it's a baby zombie, which would kind of suck. Okay, so I got a wooden here. I might as well make a very quick. Oh yeah, need sticks. A couple planks. Make a quick shovel. No, that's how you make a shovel. So crystal wing definitely gonna be useful. Okay, I might as well turn off the spawn so I don't have to see that green light there. Okay, and we also have damage indicators. That's going to be pretty useful when trying to figure out which of our various weapons does the most damage against bad guys. We also have Dungeon Pack. This is very cool. It adds about a dozen different world gen structures, various kinds of things we can head for and raid once we get out into the world. Very happy about that. We have Enhanced Portals 3. This is the higher up version than the one that is in Attack of the B Team. Ooh, we got Certus quartz. Nice, from Applied Energistics 2. Now, I don't think I can actually mine that with wood. I may need to use stone or higher. Let me see here. I like the look of that. Okay, be right. Hang on. I'm not gonna say be right back because I just got here. Just make a quick stone pick. Actually, while I'm at it, I'm gonna make a furnace. Put that in here. I might as well use some of this, and I'm gonna cook up some squid so I don't starve to death. There we go. Okay, so I think it was fine. Let me try which is the wood. Hope I don't lose it. Oh, cool. So you can do it with wood. Nice. So like I say, Enhanced Portals 3 is not quite the same as the one it's Enhanced Portals 2 from Attack of the B Team. Most notably because in order to function, in order to create portals, they're in network, meaning more than one they're attached to each other in a way. You need to have something called a dimensional DBS, Dimensional Bridge Stabilizer. And this thing is actually pretty expensive. I did some calculations, and in order to make my first 2 Enhanced Portals 3 portals, and I could be wrong about this. If I'm wrong about this, you guys can correct me, but I'm pretty sure in order to make first 2 paired Enhanced Portals 3 portals and be able to expand it in order to make more in the future, you need, among other things, 32 diamonds, 14 ender pearls, and 16 emeralds. That's a little bit crazy, but I think it's the way it is. So I'm going to make some charcoal here quickly, make some torches. Do I have any more? Oh, did I leave them in here? No, I didn't. I used up all my sticks already. Oh, that was fast. So make some sticks. Make some charcoal. Get me some torches. Okay, and next up on our mod list here, we have Evilcraft. This is a relatively new mod. Now, there's a couple different versions of Evilcraft. The one I'm using is the more recent one, the one for 1.7.2. And what this does it adds evil ore and a number of different ways to use blood into Minecraft. And the main use of blood is to repair items. Now, I'm really not sure if this works. Oh, cool, we got iron. I'm not sure if this is going to work on a lot of the modded weapons we're going to be adding in, but I know it does. It does work on vanilla weapons and also enchanted vanilla weapons. So that's going to be useful. And we got coal. Excellent. So that's going to be cool once we get into that. Okay, next thing on the list, we have Extended Workbench. Now, I really like this mod, and I'm actually very happy that it has an integration now with Craft Guide, which we're using for our item control. And basically what Extended Workbench does is it adds a number of items, most notably extended versions of vanilla items. Like it has an extended version of the sword, which is really cool, and it has the pickaxe, axe, the hoe, basically all the different ones, and also extended versions of different kinds of vanilla armor. That's going to be useful. And what can I do, pray tell? Well, basically, it makes them. The exact statistics are available on the Minecraft forum post, but in general, they do about 1.5 times to twice as much damage, and have 1.5 times to twice as much durability than their vanilla counterparts. But they do cost usually 1.5 times more material. So a bit of a trade-off, but they're really sweet, especially the extended bow. But before we get into some of the more advanced stuff, I may make an extended bow once I get some access to some string. Next up, we have floating ruins. This one adds a number of biome-dependent ruins, and when you can tell these are floating ruins is because they're actually floating. They look, well, we'll see them soon enough, but they look basically like someone scooped out a half circle out of the terrain, and then had that thing float up about 30 or 40 blocks, and then stuck it full of mob spawners. So that's going to be fun once we find those. Ooh, cool! We got some IC2 copper. One thing I'm kind of curious about, and I did not get a chance to do a lot of testing with, is I am not sure if we're going to have trouble with version control of these items. So we'll see, because I do not have one mod I do not have here, unfortunately, is thermal expansion. It's just not available at the moment. But one reason I want it is because it has an item called a unifier, which I may end up having to use if I have trouble with some of these recipes. But we'll see what happens. Okay, now next one we have the flower tea mod. This is just a really cool little mod. It adds the ability to make a teacup, and if you add that with water and one of several plants. Oh, I have an accident. And one of several plants that you'll find around through World Gen, you can make tea, which is cool because tea is awesome, and it gives you some interesting buffs. So we can use that as soon as we can. Oh, one huge one. This is probably the biggest one, and if you don't believe me, check out the Minecraft forum post for this. Goblins and Giants. This is a work in progress mod, so I'm not quite sure how far along it is, but it seems like it's in pretty good shape. This thing adds, seriously, 10 pages of new mobs. Let me say that again. 10 pages of new mobs over, I think it's 15 worlds. Each one of which has a boss and an optional secret dragon to find. So that is going to be awesome once we get to it. Okay, so as I said before, we have Industrial Craft 2 experimental version in this, which is hopefully it won't cause us too much trouble because I'm planning on using IC2 as our power source. Oh, we got a cave. Okay. Another thing I added in here is the inventory tweaks. Very useful little mod. Oh, I do have some coal, so I can use this to make more torches. Nice. And what you can do with inventory tweaks is stuff like middle mouse click to adjust your inventory, and it also has these little buttons on the sides of chests and various storage devices. So I really like having that in. It's just it's a convenient little mod. Glad to add to the department. I also added Jabba. That is just another better barrel attempt. Very nice little thing. I'm using that in conjunction with applied Energistics to make storage solutions easier. I have Mantle. Now, a Mantle is actually a requirement for Tinker's Construct. And Mantle, you can tell what it is. It's actually a little buggy right now, unfortunately. If you look here up my inventory screen, I got the normal crafting tab, sort of, and I also have the armor tab from Tinker's Construct. Now, this looks kind of normal. However, this does not look normal, and this is going to be a problem. Hopefully, this will be fixed in a later version. We're just going to have to live with it for the moment. But if we have Tinker's Construct, this is the similar kind of version to the one in Attack of the B-Team, meaning that we have the 3 different tiers of heart canisters, which will be cool once we get access to some necrotic bones and things. Okay, we also have Tinker's Mechworks, and we have Mediccraft. That's a very nice mod. Basically, what that does, once we get access to a lot of string, we can make bandages, and there's certain kinds of herbs you can use to basically soak the bandages to improve their healing effects. That'll be helpful once we get into dungeons, and we're going to need to heal ourselves quickly after getting, beaten to death by various things. Oh, big fan of Quiver Bow. If you guys haven't heard of Quiver Bow, look up Bebop Vox's mod review of Quiver Bow, and you will love it. This thing adds like 25 different kinds of weapons. I'm seriously thinking about making all of them just to play with them. There's only like a couple I really want, but I just want to play with the rest of them because they just look like so much fun. So we're going to have to find a way to get a gunpowder source in order to play more with Quiver Bow. Okay, I also added random things. Now, this is an important note. The random things I'm using here is the same mod maker as the one in Attack of the B-Team. Unfortunately, it is not a completed version of the mod. It is definitely in alpha form. And my bow my pick just went bye-bye. So let's just make another crafting table and make one out of cobblestone. I'll make 2, actually. So it's basically like a crippled version. I think that's not the words, but it's a incomplete version of random things. I'm really looking forward to a fuller version of random things, most notably because it adds block breakers and block teleporters, which I think block teleporters are actually pretty expensive, but block breakers are going to be very useful in making cobblestone generators. Okay, 2 words: Roguelike Dungeons. I'm going to repeat that because it bears repeating. Roguelike Dungeons. These are insane. When I first heard about these, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I quote unquote ran a couple of them. I'm like, oh, these things are nice. It might be kind of fun as like a diversionary thing. Then I realized that they have multiple levels, and that they get harder the deeper down you go. And that when you get to the bottom levels, there are some things that make the Nether look like a picnic. I'm talking about rooms full of creepers and wither skeletons and blazes all over the place. Just utter craziness. And it's going to be a lot of fun doing that. Well, actually, that's going to be one of our first priorities, is to find a roguelike dungeon. And I'm not going to clear the whole thing on camera because it takes a long time. And I don't want this series, it is adventure based. I don't want it to be completely a dungeon crawl series. I want there to be some building involved also. But that's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to get a lot of cool stuff out of that. Another thing I have is a status effect HUD. That's going to show right where my cursor is, status effects when they happen, like if and when I get poisoned, that kind of thing. I also have Sweet Tea. This is by the same guy who did Mediccraft, and it adds a way to make sweet tea as well as a couple extra things to make Mediccraft bandages. This is a nice little cave here. Actually, we're very low. We're at level 16. We haven't even found a real cave. This is just a little protrusion. I like that. So I'm definitely going to be doing some branch mining here. Now, I know it's an adventure pack, but you have to do branch mining. But one thing I found in my testing is that there are a couple of items. So we got something here. Cool. This is what I like to see. So we have a lava pool, and we have some Tinker's Construct ore berries. Nice. One thing I found that there's a couple of resources which are pretty much essential to this mod pack, and they're not completely the easiest thing to come by, unfortunately. I try my best to make ways to get them, but it was really sort of an uphill battle. And those ingredients are leather, gunpowder, string, and gold. Now, you wouldn't think gold. It was hard to find gold. It's actually kind of hard to find gold if all you're doing is looking through dungeon chests, because they're not everywhere. Okay, so let me just... I don't want to waste the lava because I know I'm going to use it later on. But, you know what, let me put... Oh. There we go. Oh. Okay, just grab the ore berries and take off. Cool. So we've hit level 12, so this is our level for mining diamonds. So I'm definitely be doing some branch mining here just to get some initial resources together, and later on we're definitely going to go in and make a more permanent base in a much cooler area, preferably close to a roguelike dungeon. So I got a couple more here. I got so before we have Tinker's Construct. Very happy about that. It was one of those mods I was like, I really have to have it, because if I don't, I'm gonna miss it so much. I love Tinker's Construct. When I first played with it, I was sort of reluctant, but over time I'm like, I need this mod all the time, and that's kind of the way it goes. Oh, I need an iron pick for that. Okay, so we also have, finishing up the list, we have Twilight Forest. We're going to get into that. I intend to beat every one of the bosses, including the new one. There's a new one in this version. I think it's called a Goblin Knight, so I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be one of our more epic quests. We have Voxel Map, formerly known as Zon's Minimap. That's what we're using right now. I played around with the idea of using Map Writer. Both of these are available in 1.7. However, one thing about Map Writer is that if you don't have a lot of RAM or a good video card, in my case both things are true, but if you don't have that, it does kind of lag your game out, unfortunately. So I went in favor of Voxel Map, or Zon's Minimap, instead. Cool, daytime. So another thing that we have is Village Taverns Updated. Now this basically adds 4 new buildings to villages, and once we find them, you'll see how cool it is. It adds a tavern, a barn, a stable, and a bakery. Now I don't think it adds all these in every single village, but it should add them in most. That's going to be fun once we come to it. Useful for getting more resources, and if we can find a stable, it'll almost always have a horse. Although it could have a pig, so I mean it's as helpful. What we also have, as you can see up here, we have Wyla. Now, unfortunately, and this is a quote, Wyla is crippled without not enough items. And we'll see what happens. At the moment, not enough items does have a Link's Release Candidate 2 that is available. Unfortunately, I could not get to work with this mod pack. I don't know what exactly is wrong with it. It might be a different version of Forge that was used to make it. That's why it doesn't work. But for the moment, I cannot use NEI. Once it actually gets to a more stable point, I may end up switching to it, but we'll see. But for the moment, we have Craft Guide, and I'm happy for it. Okay, 2 more mods here by the same guys. We have Yafum, YAFM, yet another food mod. This simply adds 4 things which I think should probably be added into vanilla Minecraft. That is fried egg, mutton, squid, and carrot soup. And I think these should be added. They're common sense things, very useful. Squid, I'm now using it to break leaves with. I can also eat, so it's a good thing, as Mother Stewart would say. And the last one is Yalsum, which is yet another leather smelting mod. Now, this was actually not my first choice in terms of leather smelting mods. And yes, I have a choice in leather smelting mods. The one I wanted is called simply Rotten Flesh to Leather. And I like that mod. It's very simple. It's a 1-to-1 of rotten flesh to leather. Just put it in a furnace and it makes rotten flesh. This one is a 5-to-1, which is not the best, but it's not bad either, especially because we also have armor smelter. I'm not going to complain that much. So we have a method of making rotten flesh, which is almost totally useless, into leather, which is pretty useful, especially for making backpacks. Okay, so as the sun sets on, I think this is day 2 of our Minecraft adventure through the quest for awesome, I'm going to end this episode. I'm going to try and keep these episodes around the 20-minute mark. We'll see if I manage to actually accomplish that. But it's been Kanakadia for the quest for awesome, and I'll see y'all next time.